uh, arrangement. So inshallah, I'm going to call on our facilitator to the high table, our Ustaz, our Sheikh, Ustaz Muhammad. Please come forward, sir, for your.
In respect to what Salim said, we are having a good periods now, 2 lectures. Yes, Anisha. Yes, Anisha. Today at the lodge, we also have another period. We are doing this just to cover up. We have seriously we have left behind. So at the lodge by 8:30, we have another lecture, inshallah. And what this is what we are here for now. Inshallah, a strong closure will be provided. Because we have to let you remember you are in
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة كل ضلالة في النار رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we appreciate him, we glorify his name, we invoke his peace, blessings and mercy upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, his household, his companions, and whosoever train their path till the final hour. Thank Allah ta'ala for the opportunity of converging here this evening to say for a very important and vital talk that has to do with the progress of our Islamic affairs. It's a privilege and honor being in your midst to discuss very important issues. I know the time is not enough, but I equally will prefer and wish that you make it a bit interactive, so we carry all of us along. The first topic we are going to discuss is Talibul Ilm, the seeker of knowledge, or the knowledge seeker. What should be the Islamic ethics guiding seeking for knowledge? What forms of knowledge shall we go about to seek? How do we go about seeking for the knowledge and other things we are going to discuss inshallah ta'ala. The first thing here I have is trying to define what knowledge is all about. Some scholars will say al-ilmu a'ammu an yu'raf. Knowledge is beyond definition. Knowledge is beyond definition. You can't define knowledge. Some will say no. Even as at that, we still need to have something to say knowledge is. Because living is so covered, we make people to actually have a kind of doubt and begin to be ignorant about what actually knowledge is all about. So the one I was able to lay my hands on is definition of knowledge according to Ibn Uthaymeen in his book Kitab al-Ilm. His other book he wrote on Usul al-Fiqh. He said, "Huwa idraku shay ala ma huwa alayhi idrakan jazima." Is the factual approach in knowing something exactly the way it is, without addition, without subtraction. If they say what is this, you say this is defined as this and is found to be that. That's what is called knowledge. You approach something exactly the way it is. You are not doubting. If doubt comes, it becomes al-run or it becomes al-wahmu if you are confused. If you confuse right for wrong, it becomes al-wahmu. If you are doubting, it becomes al-rannu. But you say, is this, you are 100% sure it's like that, and they find that it's like that. That's knowledge. to have a firm and factual approach to things exactly the way and manner they are. That's that. The next point I have in the list is position of knowledge in Islam. But before then, let's classify knowledge into three according to Ibn Uthaymeen before we go into the position of knowledge in Islam. Knowledge, they will say that is of three categories. We have al-ilmu nafi', we have al-ilmu ad-dar, then we have ilmu la yanfa' wa la yadur. We have ilmu nafi', beneficial knowledge that we are all expected to go out and seek for, to put in our best to ensure that we acquire the knowledge. That's number one. Number two, that's ilmu dar or ilmu mudir, a knowledge that knowing it will only lead you astray. You don't even need it in the first place. Then there's ilmun la yadurruka jahluhu wa la yanfa'uka ma'rifatuhu, a knowledge that is just a waste of time. Knowing that is not in any way beneficial to you. Not knowing it does not harm you in any way. So out of these three forms of knowledge, number one is the most important, recommended, and compulsory upon all the Muslims. If Rasul will say that about ilm fa'ida ala kulli Muslim, is referring to ilmun nafi', beneficial knowledge. We all know beneficial knowledge. Then ilmun dar or mudirrun is knowledge that will lead you astray. Like what? Trying to learn or know things about sorcery, sihr, kahana, fortune telling. Allah will say in Baqarah, وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا لَمَنِ اشْتَرَاهُ مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ وَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنفَعُهُمْ. Allah says they are seeking to know things that will only harm them, will not benefit them in any way. That means that's knowledge that is harmful, like what ilmu sir. Allah says يَتَعَلَّمُونَ مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ هَذَا عِلْمٌ مُضِرٌّ يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنفَعُهُمْ. It only puts them or push them astray. It does not bring them away or take them into guidance. So Muslims should not in any way go in seeking for such kind of knowledge. Then there are some knowledge that you won't gain anything in knowing them, and you will not be harmed by not knowing them. Those kind of knowledge you need not to put them first, because it will waste your time. Go into what you need basically. If you have extra time, you can then begin to look at one or two things. That's that. So talk of knowledge, we mean ilmun nafi'. Ilmun nafi' could be considered in two ways. So don't say that ilmun nafi' is the one of the hereafter, and ilmu al-madi or dunyawi is the one that is not. No, the two are important. When we talk of ilmun nafi', knowledge that benefits you either here or in the hereafter. Your engineering, your medicine, your anything, trade that will make you to live a good life here and good life there is under ilmun nafi'. Under ilmun nafi', Allah will say in the Quran. Remind me the verse. وَابْتَغِ فِيمَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا. Use all that Allah Ta'ala has given to you to seek for the hereafter. That's Adar al-Akhirah. But even as at that, وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا, do not forget your portion of the world. You need sound health, you need to eat a very good food, you need a comfortable place to stay, so it will equally assist you and facilitate the way you should Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's very, very important. So the knowledge that will make you go close to Allah ta'ala, that's the after, is good. You want to make it to live a very good life that will even encourage you to serve Allah the most is also important. It falls under ilmun nafi'. The next point we have here is makanatul ilm in Islam. What is the position of knowledge in Islam? We stated here that the esteemed position of knowledge cannot be overemphasized, but could be recognized in the following points. Knowledge is beyond what you think, as we are going to see inshallah ta'ala, but some of the points that will bring out the importance of knowledge are the following. Number one, knowledge is one of the features of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the exalted, the all-knowing. That's why you read Quran a little, you see what? Wallahu sami'un alim. Wallahu alimun hakim. Wallah, we see a lot of alimun hakim, aliman hakima, khabira. I see alima. It's one of the features of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The word al-ilm, knowledge, al-ilm, knowledge, alifun, lamun, aynun, lamun, mimun, appeared in the Quran 29 times. Not just once, not just twice or three times, 29 times. Then the word al-alim, the all-knowing, appeared 33 times in the Quran. That means this knowledge is very, very important. Very, very important in the life of a Muslim. Then, in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala, when He wants to confirm to the whole earth that He alone deserves to be worshipped, starting with Himself, going down to the angels, the third way who? The knowledgeable ones. Al Imran, He says, Shahid Allah, Allah have testified, Annahu la ilaha illahu, no that is what they worship but Him. He testified Himself first. He said, Wal malaikatu, angels follows. Third one, He said what? Wa ulul ilmi, then the knowledgeable ones. If he's somebody worshiping an idol, regardless of the level of knowledge he has acquired, you should just consider him to be someone that has acquired just mere information. He has enough data in his head. But true ulul ilm will refer things back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That verse praises who? People of knowledge. Because if you have a true knowledge, you always take things back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another surah, I'm going to be very, very brief. I have plenty of things to say, but I will just pick few so I will continue. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the angels that, tell me the names of these items I have displayed before you, what did they say? قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. You are Alimul Hakim. They told him. Allah said, see a challenge. Tell me the names of these items displayed before you. They say, La ilma lana, we have no knowledge of this. Illa ma allamtana, except if you let us know, and you have not yet let us know these things. Innaka antal alimu al hakim. Look at the names he used there. They say, Innaka antal alimu, you are the all-knowing. Hakimun, you are the all-wise. There is a wisdom behind this test you are testing us. They told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah then called upon Adam. He said, Ya Adam, anbihum bi asma'ihim. Falamma anbahum bi asma'ihim. To the end of the verse, Allah told the angels, you have now seen that He knows better than you. Then you should prostrate and greet Adam. They did. They did. What made Adam elevated above them was what? Was the knowledge. Nothing else but the knowledge. So knowledge is very, very important in the life of a Muslim. Allah Ta'ala will say in the Quran, Tanzilul Kitabi min Allah al-Aziz al-Alim. The revelation of this book, the Quran, came from Allah, Al-Azizu, the mighty, Al-Alim, the all-knowing. That's why, the Quran from beginning to the end, you won't see any misconception. It's there, it's straightforward, there's no any contradiction, rather, I would say. No misconception, unless if someone, I once watched a debate between Hamadi, not that, I mean, Zakir Naik with somebody, trying to by force bring in misconception and misinterpret a lot of things from the Quran. But Allah has so much blessed Zakir Naik for just analyzing things one after the other. Knowledge is very, very important in the life of a Muslim. That's that. Let me skip the other ones because of time. The second point that will be, as that will portray the importance of knowledge, is that the first command given to our messenger was to do what? Was to read. Not to pray, because you can't pray without knowledge. Not to fast, you cannot fast without knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first command was what? He was told, Ikra, read. He said, the angel compressed him 3 times. He said, Ikra, bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqa al-insana min alaq, Ikra wa rabbuka al-akram, alladhi allama bil qalam, allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. That means, as a Muslim, the first thing you should consider is learning. To know Islam. If you don't know Islam, you may end up being a greater source of trouble to Islam than being an ambassador of Islam. So Muslims should know Islam, so you should be able to serve Allah Ta'ala in the right way and manner, and you should be able to defend Islam when it comes to any challenge, external challenge comes from outside. So that's the first command, the first verse in the Quran, Iqra, read. That's why Surah will say, Nahanu ummatul qira'a. We are the generation of reading. A Muslim should have no excuse if you don't learn. You have no excuse as a Muslim not to learn. You have to learn. You have to learn. If the Rasul at 40, many other companions at 50, at 60, his uncles were there. That's just when Islam started, but they still have time for Quran. These are people that go to the battlefield, they go to the market to go and earn their sustenance, they have family issues, they have a lot of activities, but still upon that, they have time for the Quran. then we, later generations, should have greater time because they have already laid the foundation. It's just for us to flow and follow. That's that. Rasul explained that طلب العلم فريضة على كل Muslim. Seeking for knowledge is not optional, please. It's compulsory. Muslim must seek for Islamic knowledge. As he's seeking for that knowledge, he should also know that he's taking a path to Jannah. There is Abi Huraira Rasul said, Man salaka tariqan yaltamisu fihi ilman, sahalallahu lahu bihi tariq al-jannah. Whosoever should tread a path in seeking for knowledge, Allah Ta'ala will consider that and make the path to paradise very simple for the person to access. Once you hold on to simple Islamic knowledge, then Al-Jannah will be very easy for you to access. That's that. Imam Zarmuji will say in his book Al-Muta'allim, say ta'allam, you should try and learn. فَإِنَّ الْعِلْمَ زَيْنٌ لِأَهْلِهِ وَفَضٌّ وَعُنْوَانٌ لِكُلِّ الْمَحَامِدِ. Say ta'allam, seek for knowledge. فَإِنَّ الْعِلْمَ, because knowledge is زَيْنٌ لِأَهْلِهِ, it adorns those that acquire it. وَفَضٌّ is a virtue. وَعُنْوَانٌ, a great sign. لِكُلِّ الْمَحَامِدِ, that bring about things that are worth praises. Seek for knowledge. He said, وَكُنْ كُلِّ يَوْمٍ مُسْتَفِيدٍ زِيَادَةٍ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ وَاصْبَحْ فِي بُهُورِ الْفَوَائِدِ. وَكُنْ كُلَّ يَوْمٍ, you should be in seeing each and every day. مُسْتَفِيدٍ زِيَادَةٍ, seeking for more benefits of knowing what you don't know. Never put a full stop to your seeking for knowledge. Every day seek for more. وَسَبَّحْ فِي بُهُورِ الْفَوَائِدِ, always try and swim in the ocean of knowledge. So let me skip the other things. تفقه فإن فقيها واحدا متورعا أشد عائشة من ألف عابد. Try and understand the concept of Sharia, because one person that is learned is more difficult for Shaitan to fight than 1,000 people that are not in any way learned. Something like that happened when the Banu Israel or the people of the past. Someone killed 99 people. 99 people. So at a point in time, he was removed. He felt he was wrong. He needs to repent and go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the first instance, he went to who? He went to a rahib. Who is a rahib? A worshipper. A worshipper. He asked him, he said he killed 99. Halli min tawbah, can I be forgiven? Say, min 30, that's 99. 1 to 99. Say, no way. Say, that's no way. You must go to hell. He said, okay, let me round it up. Round figure, right? Approximation in mathematics. He killed him to make it 100. At a point in time again, he realized he was strong. How do I repent? Rasul said, Fadulla ala alimin. He was directed to a learned person. When he went there, he said, Man yahulu baynaka wa bayna at-tawbah. Who at all can serve as a barrier between you and repentance? Nobody. Allah is ever ready and willing to accept you, provided you are sincere. So he repents, he preached to him. He said, but I will advise you, don't stay in this your local community. Say, فَإِنَّهُ أَرْضُ سُوءٍ. If you remain there, you will have evil influences. You will soon go back to what you were doing. This is an armed robber. I used to get free money, kill anyhow. He said he has repented. I still remain within that community. If money finishes, what's going to happen? He will go and join the bad gang again because he needed the money. He said, I will advise you, if you are sincere, you should migrate and leave this your bad community and go to a better one to the end of your life. Rasul said he was on his way traveling to that new community. He died on the road. He died on the road. Allah Ta'ala has already resolved to have mercy on the person. Angels came over, angels of mercy and angels of punishment. They say, angels of punishment say that he has killed 100, he must go to hell, we are taking him to the hell. This one saying, no, فَإِنَّهُ أَقْبَلَ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَائِبًا. He has really faced Allah, he meant repentance, he must be forgiven. They said no. Then someone came to serve as a judge between the two of them, right? The two groups. He said, فَقِيسُ مَا بَيْنَ الْأَرْضَيْنِ. You should estimate and take the measurement between where he left to where he is and where he's going to where he is right now. Rasul said, actually, he was closer to where he left. But Allah Ta'ala was the one that instructed the earth that you where he's going to, shorten your distance. You where he left, lengthen your distance. Why? Allah want to forgive him. He was sincere. When they measure, he was closer to where he want to go to. Angels of mercy take him away. What have we learned there? Knowledge led him to where he actually happens to be. If he goes to another rahib again, a worshipper, that's how they keep deceiving him and they keep killing them the more and more, compiling more sins. So that tells you how important knowledge is. That's why he said, فَإِنَّ فَقِيهًا وَاحِدًا مُتَوَرِّعًا أَشَدٌّ عَلَى الشَّيْطَانِ مِنْ أَلْفِ آبِدٍ. One person that is learned is more difficult for the devil to mislead than 1,000 people that worship Allah Ta'ala with ignorance. Point number 3 was that nobody wants to be attributed or identified with ignorance, even if in reality he knows nothing. Somebody who knows nothing, you say, look at you, ignorant person. What will happen? He'll be very, very angry. Even if he don't know it. That tells you that ignorance is a bad thing. And knowledge is the best, especially for a Muslim. The same Malam will say, Fasadun kabirun alimun mutahatiku wa akbaru minhu jahilun mutanassiku. Huma fitnatun fil alamina azimatun liman bihima fi dinihi yatamassaku. Say that there are two sources of fitna, of trouble in community. Number one, learned person that is into evil. Number two, a worshipper that knows nothing. Why? There will always be reference points. Somebody will do something wrong. Say, please fear Allah, stop doing this thing. Say, are you asking? Even Madam is doing the same thing. What are you telling me? Reference points. That's alimun mutahattik, an evil scholar. Or jahilun mutanassik. This one knows nothing, but he's always in the books, trying to serve Allah, but he don't know anything. He will end up rendering his whole life useless. A man came into the masjid when Rasul was there. He observed his prayers. He observed the prayers. He met to the Rasul to do salam to him. Rasul told him what? He said, Irji fa salli fa innaka lam tusalli. Go back and pray, for you have not prayed. He went back and prayed again. He came back to the Rasul and said salam. Rasul said, I've answered your salam, but go and pray, for you have not yet prayed. How many times? 3 times. For the third time, he said, فَوَالَّذِي بَعَثَكَ بِالْحَقِّ نَبِيًّا لَا أُحْسِنَ غَيْرَهَا فَعَلِّمْنِي. See, I swear by him who sent you as a true messenger and prophet, I can't do better than what I did. Please teach me. That means all that he has been doing. Rasul said, فَإِنَّكَ لَمْ تُصَلِّ. You have not prayed. That means he has not been praying all this while. So that tells us how important knowledge is. You keep wasting your time, you think that you are doing something. What one of the most fearing and scaring verses in the Quran is وَبَدَا لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يَكُونُوا يَحْتَسِبُونَ. You meet Allah and you meet completely different from what you are expecting. That's وَبَدَا لَهُم, it appeared to them مِّنَ اللَّهِ from Allah مَا لَمْ يَكُونُوا يَحْتَسِبُونَ, what they were not expecting. They have devoted their time, they have done a lot. Allah will say, that's not the way I wanted it done. They have taken the wrong path. So please, anything you are doing, ensure that at least you have a backup in Islamic teachings. This is the way Rasul says you should do it. There was a day Rasul was seated and he sent for Abdullah ibn Mas'ud to come and recite Quran to his own hearing. Ibn Mas'ud came. He started reciting with Surah Nisa. Till when he got to the verse 41, Allah will say in the verse, فَكَيْفَ إِذَا جِئْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ بِشَهِيدٍ وَجِئْنَا بِكَ عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ شَهِيدًا. فَكَيْفَ, how will the situation be in that day? إِذَا جِئْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ بِشَهِيدٍ, if we bring a witness against any generation, وَجِئْنَا بِكَ عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ شَهِيدًا, and will call upon you to come and stand and as in present issues about your own ummah. Any person they will call, Rasul will be there. He does this and that. Do you ask him to do it? Yes. The same way you want him to do it? Yes. So you have passed that one. They'll keep asking you questions. Anything you have done that is not in line with the way Rasul taught, wallahi, you are on your own. Verse 44, so to Nahl, Allah will say, وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرَ لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ وَلَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Allah told us that the essence of sending the Quran to the Rasul is that he should tell us the way to do it. Don't do over syllabus in Islam. He must tell you exactly the way to do it. If you do it otherwise, you are on your own. Rasul said that in the day of Al-Qiyamah, no, he was actually working with the companions towards a particular graveyard. I'm talking about how important knowledge is. He was moving towards the graveyard with the companions. He told them, وَدِدْتُ لَوْ أَنِّي رَأَيْتُ إِخْوَانِي. How I wish I'll be able to set my eyes on my brothers. They say, Ya Rasulullah, أَوَلَسْنَا إِخْوَانُكَ? Are we not your brothers? He said, بَلْ أَنْتُمْ أَصْحَابِي وَإِخْوَانِي الَّذِينَ لَمْ يَأْتُوا بَعْدِ. You are my companions. The ones I'm referring to are the ones I've not yet set my eyes on them. That's what he told them. Rasul know Abu Bakr, you know Umar, you know Uthman, you know Ali. But do you know you and me? He doesn't know us. So he's saying, how I wish I would be able to see them. Companions asked him, he said, we know you know us, can identify all of us in the Al-Qiyamah. But how are you to identify your people that have not yet seen you and you never see them? He said, in the Al-Qiyamah, their faces, all the spots of ablution are going to be very, very bright. Light, illumination everywhere. Because of ablution. He said, but upon that, there are some set of people that will wish to come and take from my Al-Kawthara. I will see angels chasing them like camels away. I will tell the angels, can't you see the spots, the signs of ablution everywhere? They will say, oh Rasul, they did over syllabus. Where you stopped is not where they stopped. They wanted to go ahead of you. You can never get it better than the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Please, always learn how did Rasul do this? Do it that way. So that you be free and safe in the Al-Qiyamah. 3 companions came to his house in his absence. They asked his family regarding how he used to render worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were told how committed he used to be. These young men once said, if that is the case, from today, I will never eat food in the afternoon. I'll be fasting from today to the end of my life. The other one said what? He said, from today, I will never sleep in the night. I'll be doing tahajjud throughout. Then the biggest one says what? I will never marry a woman so she will not distract me. These are 3 opinions. When Rasul came back, the one that said he's going to stop eating. He wants to be doing what? Fasting. Ibadah, right? So say he's not going to sleep. You want to be doing what? Tahajjud, Ibadah. This one say you're not married. You don't want what? Women distraction, Ibadah. Rasul came, he had that. He didn't say till tomorrow or till next Friday. Instantly he announced all companions should gather. When they gathered, he said, Wallahi inni la a'lamukum billahi wa atqakum la. He said, I swear by Allah, I know Allah better than any of you, and I'm more God-fearing than you. I'm not proud. I'm not pride. I'm not. It's not a pride from me. I'm not pride, but I know Allah better than any of you, and I fear Him the most. See, upon that, you know my wives. You know I used to sleep some part of the night and pray the other parts. And you are away. Sometimes I eat food in the afternoon together with you people. You see, if I'm a ragiba and sunnati falaysa. Whenever you detest my sunnah, my way of doing this, you are not part of me. That means a Muslim must always, how did he do this and that? So in the Al-Qiyamah, you find it easy. Allah see us all through. Point number 4. Knowledge was the only thing Allah Ta'ala commanded Rasul to seek for its increase in the Quran. From Fatiha down to Nas. It was only knowledge. Allah say what? Allah will say, وَقُوْ رَبِّ زِدْنِي عِلْمًا. Say, Allah, increase me in knowledge. Knowledge, very, very important. About wealth and other things, Allah will say, please leave those things for them. Don't care about those things. وَلَا تَعَدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Say, please don't stretch your eyes looking at what we have given them of wealth and women and worldly things. Don't look at that. نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكَ, we are going to provide for you. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلتَّقْوَى. The aqiba, the best ending is to who? Is to those that fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Knowledge first place in the life of a Muslim. Point number 5 that tells us how important as in knowledge is in Islam is that Allah Ta'ala is asking a question. He said, tell them, O Rasul, هَلْ يَسْتَوِ الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Is there any way the ignorant to be comparable to those that knows? Allah say, what? إِنَّمَا تَذَكَّرُوا أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. People of senses will reason and know that truly they are not comparable. You don't know and you want to compare yourself with somebody that knows. It's not possible. It's not, they are not comparable. Point number 6, right? I'm not number 5. Those are knowledgeable ones comparable to the ignorant ones. That's number 5. Number 6, elevating the rank of knowledgeable ones even among the believers. They are all believers. They cannot be the same. Because these ones are knowledgeable, this one didn't know anything, or they know a little. Allah Ta'ala will say in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قيل لكم تفسحوا في المجالس فافسحوا وإذا قيل انشزوا فانشزوا. My point is just يرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين علم درجات. Allah uplifts the rank of those that believe among you. But for those that are knowledgeable, Allah didn't say daraja, He say darajatin, rank, status, plenty, many. Why? Because of the knowledge. Rasulullah used to give preference and consideration to the knowledgeable ones even when they were dead. During the battle of Uhud, companions were killed, many were killed. When they were to be buried, Rasul will ask, you want to put two in a grave or three in a grave? When they bring these two, he will say, Ayyuhuma aktharu akhdan al-Quran. Whom among these two is having more of Quran with him? If they show him the person, say, take him first. The other one should follow, even when they were dead. So that means the corpse, the dead body of those that are knowledgeable is not comparable to the dead body of those that didn't know anything, even when they were dead. They are not the same. Dead and alive, knowledgeable ones are different from who? From the ignorant ones, even as in Islam. Number 7, God-fearing or righteousness is known mostly to be found with those that have the knowledge. Allah will say, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. That those that fear Allah Ta'ala amongst people are the ulama, the learned ones, the scholars. The ones that truly know the value of what they have acquired. So that's that. Number 8, I want to rush place to meet up with time, is permissibility of jealousy in Islam when it comes to knowledge. Not just envy, but to be jealous. You feel like, I want to be like this person. You are jealous of what the person is having. A hadith came from Ibn Mas'ud. Rasul said that Allah has illa fitnatayn. رجل آتاه الله مالا فسلطه على هلكته في سبيله ورجل آتاه الله الحكمة يعلمها ويقضي بها. The person, I want to just talk about the second part. There's as an envy or let's say jealousy is not in any way permissible in Islam except in 2 cases. Number 1, Allah bless someone with wealth, and the person Allah Ta'ala has used him to render services to Islam. Sallaqahu, Allah has forced him, has used him ala halakatihi, in spending the wealth fi sabilihi, in what? In the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because see how I wish I become like that person. How I wish I should be like him and do the way he's doing. Do you know you are going to be with the person, you are going to attain the same rank with him, live at Qiyamah? That's a hadith that should categorize people into 4. See, people are of 4 categories. He said, someone Allah Ta'ala gives wealth. Allah Ta'ala is going to use the person, as Allah Ta'ala gave him wealth, he used the wealth in doing what is right. Allah will use him to solve Islamic or religious matters. This person will have a rank for Allah Ta'ala, is certain. The second person is him who was not being given anything, but he should be like the other person, so he will do the way the person is doing. This person will be in the same rank with the person that is spending. These are the 2 people, right? The third one is him who was given wealth and he used the wealth against Islam. He used the wealth to go to bar, drink wine, alcohol, pack women, do a lot of atrocities. Then the person have his own position. I was him in the hereafter. That's the hell. The third person, the fourth rather, right? Who is the greatest loser? You saw the other person riding car, biking women, taking alcohol. Say, I wish I have the same money to do like him. This is the greatest loser. No money and he's going to hell. No one is going to hell because he has admired other person and he has resolved, if he have the money, he's going to live the same life that person is living. So he's going to hell. So that's that. So don't see somebody committing evil, say, you people are really enjoying yourselves. That means you also want to join in enjoyment. Please never in any way give approval, either as in a verbal or silent approval to any evil act going on. If not, you also fall victim of the consequences the person is going to face. That's that. So we have, let me rush please. Point number 9, right? Is knowledge is a sign, an indicator that tells Allah Ta'ala's love for his servants. Let me not say knowledge, but understanding of the deen. Rasul will say, Man yuridillahu bihi khayra yufaqihu fi din. If Allah wish good for you, He will grant you the understanding of the deen. That means the sign or the indicator, what tells Allah loves for you is that Allah Ta'ala should grant you Islamic knowledge, sound understanding of the concept of Islam. Number 10 is that knowledge used to serve as a means of continuous charity. Out of the three Rasul made mention of in this hadith, that إذا مات ابن آدم انقضى عمله إلا من ثلاث صدقة جارية وولد صالح يدعو له علم ينتفع به. The one that lasts longest is علم ينتفع به. I should ask you today, did any of you heard about the son of Imam Bukhari? Is he even having a son? Or of Imam Muslim, Abu Dawud, Nasa'i, Tirmidhi? Do we know them by their children? Of course, no. But what do you know them by? It's knowledge they left behind. At the end of the world, anything that what they left behind is being used for, we have the portion of the reward. That's what that lasts longest. Knowledge that you leave behind. You can leave a child behind. He may still be alive, but he won't forget you for complete 1 month. He won't even mind, even pray for his dad. You didn't left behind Walidun Saleh. He forgets about you completely. The second one is you build something that should be of continuous benefit to the community. With time, a lot of things can bring an end to it. They want to construct road. They want to. This mosque is even outdated. They want to destroy a new one. Unless if you are the one that gave the land, you have the word. But if you didn't give the land, one day destroy, that's the end of the word too. But knowledge has a continuous flow. It doesn't cease. So that's why Rasul will say, "Khayrukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allamahu." The best of you are those that learn the Quran and teach the Quran to others. Once they read, from the time Rasul Sallallahu taught the companions to the end of the world, nobody will read Quran. Rasul has a portion of reward in it. He's the number one teacher on earth. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So there's no way, even the companions, they taught a lot of people. To the end of the world, anything you acquire of the world, Rasul has his own portion. That means he has word of Quran in everybody's recitation. Allah see us all through. Number 11 is that knowledge cannot be inherited. Knowledge cannot be inherited. Number 12, knowledge cannot be snatched or stolen. You cannot snatch knowledge, you cannot steal knowledge, you cannot inherit knowledge. You have to bend down and read. We have seen a lot of highly placed persons. They have all it takes to take their children to any part of the world to go and study, but they can't force their children to read. They can't. The highest they will do is start looking for lesson teachers, right? Who teach them at home. But once you don't put your head down, you didn't bend down to read, you remain ignorant. That's what makes knowledge very, very important. You have to struggle and strive to acquire it. That's that. The second part is adabu talabil ilm. What are the ethics of seeking Islamic knowledge? The one and the most important thing is sincerity of purpose. Why are you seeking for that knowledge? That is the greatest question. Rasul will say in the hadith of Abi Hurairah, "Man ta'allama ilman mimma yubtagha bihi wajhu Allah azza wa jal, la yata'allamuhu illa liyusiba bihi ardan min ad-dunya, lam yajid 'arafa al-jannah." Sahih Abu Dawud. Whosoever should seek for a knowledge that is known to be used to seek the pleasure of Allah, like what? Knowing the Quran. This is a knowledge that is known for what? Seeking Allah's pleasure. But this person, la yata'allamuhu illa liyusiba bihi aradan min ad-dunya, his essence of learning the knowledge is to acquire what? Materiality, popularity. He wants to be identified, he wants to be known. Rasul says, lam yajid arafa al-jannah. Not even entering al-jannah. Smelling jannah is not possible for the person. He can't even smell the jannah. Why? Because that's what? Lack of sincerity in the person's purpose. There is of Shufayyu, a very popular hadith as well. A particular tabi'i called Shufay one day came to Medina and he saw a crowd. They were crowded. He said, "What's happening there?" They say it's one of the companions of the Rasul that is still alive. People are taking the opportunity to know one or two things about Islam. He said, "I want to meet him." He went there, the crowd was much. People would ask and go, they would ask and go, and he was moving forward closer and closer. until everybody finished and left. It remains only him and Abu Huraira. He said, Ya Abu Huraira, O you Abu Huraira, innaka sahibta Rasulullah. You were once companions of the Rasul. You were with him once as a companion. I want you to do me a favor. Tell me one hadith that you are sure, you are not doubting that you heard from the messenger. Your ears heard him. When your eyes were seeing him, and you're 100% sure that your mind has preserved everything, you never miss even a single letter. Abi will say, okay, he held the person's hand, he said, that's good. He carried him to a particular point in the masjid. He sat him down there and he sat with him. He said, there was a time, myself and the messenger, at this very point, our third party is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasul told me. Before he could say it out, he begins to shiver. Before you know, he fainted. 3 times. It was when the fourth one he was able to tell him that Rasul said, أَوَّلُ ثَلَاثَةٍ تُسْأَلُ بِهِمُ النَّارِ. Allah will use one of these 3 sets of people to set the blazing hellfire in the Al-Qiyamah. One of these 3, sure, is going to be used to set the hellfire in Al-Qiyamah. One of these 3 is going to be the first set of people to be thrown into the hell. Rasul made mention of them. I just want to pick one. The one I want to pick was that Rasul told him, Rajulun atahu Allahu Quran. The person Allah gave Quran. Allah will invite the person. Allah will say, Allamtuka kitab. I grant you the knowledge of my own book. You say, Bala ya Rab, it's true, Allah. Allah will say, oh, explain, give account about the Quran. So Allah, I learn the Quran, I work with the Quran, I do tahajjud and qiyamul layl, I use the Quran to preach and I teach the Quran to others. Allah will not deny any of these things. Allah asks him, but for whose sake? You have done all agree, but why have you done all those things? He say, because of you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will say, kadabta, wala you are lying. Innama qara'ata liyuqalu fulanun qari. You learn the Quran with good voice. You say, that person, if you want a reciter, if you meet him, that's the end. That was the aim of your learning of the Quran. Innama qara'ata liyuqalu fulanun qari. You learn because you want to be identified as a reciter. Allah will say, وَقَدْ قِيلَ, and it was said, فَأُمِرَ بِهِ فَصُحِبَ بِهِ عَلَى وَجْهِهِ فِي النَّارِ. Allah will ensure that he should be dragged into the hell on his face. What led to that? Lack of sincerity in seeking for Islamic knowledge. So the number 1 ethic in learning Islam is what? The person should be sincere. Number 2 is that one should have good intention. What I mean by good intention is one of these 3 things. Number 1, after being sincere, is that you should intend that I want to learn this knowledge to eradicate or clear or take off ignorance from myself. That's number 1, after sincerity. Number 2, I want to learn this knowledge so I will equally take off ignorance from my fellow Muslims to teach them. Number 3, I want to learn this knowledge so I will be able to defend Islam. These are the 3 basic things you needed according to Ibn Uthaymeen in his book Kitab al-Ilm. These are the basic things you needed. You want to take off ignorance from yourself, from the Muslims, from as Muslim fellows with you. Then finally, on number 3 is what you should be able to use that knowledge to protect Islam. You cannot defend Islam when you are ignorant about Islam. Ethic number 3 is what? Working with the knowledge. If you know, you don't work with it, it will even serve as a hujjah against you, not for you. So part of the ethics of Islamic knowledge is that you want to learn so that you put things in practice. Malik ibn Anas will say, لَيْسَ الْعِلْمُ إِلَّا الْعَمَلُ. Knowledge is nothing but acting upon what you have known of the truth. No matter how much you have known, if you don't work with it, well, that's going to serve as a hujjah against you. So part of the Islamic ethics is that the little you know, please try and implement them, put them into practice. Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the women of his own time were troubling him, inviting him to committing zina with them, he wanted to seek for what? A rescue. He was telling Allah, Rabbi illa tasrif anni kaydahunna asbu ilayhinna wa akum minal jahilin. See Allah, if you don't come into my aid, rescue my situation, I'm afraid to fall into the trap of these women. Asbu ilayhinna, and you fall into their trap. Wa akum min al-jahilin, and be among the ignorant ones. Is he lacking knowledge? He has knowledge. But if you don't work with the knowledge, there's no difference between you and him that you didn't know anything. In fact, he's even going to be better than you. إذا لم يفيدك العلم خيرا فخير منه أن لو قد جهلت تائيا. We'll come to that inshallah ta'ala. If knowledge is not in any way benefits you, uplifts you, then better than that knowledge is ignorance. Not knowing is not an excuse. Knowing and not working with it is even worse than that. So we must learn and we must work with what we have learned. That's that. Number 4, briefly, is you people to what you have learned and what you have known. You must not conceal knowledge to yourself. That's why Banu Israel were casted, as in they were cursed. They were cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because what? Because they hide the knowledge. Allah Rasul was saying that of Ibn Mas'ud, نَضَّرَ اللَّهُ مْرَأً سَمِعَ مِنَّا حَدِيثًا فَبَلَّغَهُ كَمَا سَمِعَهُ فَرُبَّ مُبَلَّغٍ أَحْفَظُ أَوْ أَمِنْ سَامِعٍ. May Allah brightens for the person that will hear any of our statements and try to deliver it exactly the way he had it. That means he has learned and he has called others to it. Because it's most likely and most possible the person you are delivering the message to can even work with it better than you. So please don't conceal Islamic knowledge to yourself. Let knowledge go out. Everybody should know and you are covered. Once you keep it to yourself, then you are in trouble with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's that. Then we have the hadith of Sahal ibn Sa'ad radiyallahu anhu قال قال سلم لعلي بن أبي طالب لأن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا خير لك من حمر النعم. That happened during the battle of Khaybar. Rasul told Ali ibn Abi Talib that actually Ali was to go and fight the people of Khaybar. When he was about leaving, Rasul called him. He said, Al Arislik. When he came back, Rasul told him that for one person to be guided to you is better for you, let's say, than to become a multi-billionaire today. Because Humur al-Ni'am then is the greatest wealth of the Arab, red camels. He said, for you to have one person guided through you is better than any amount of wealth you can ever think of. Please let us be after the guidance of others when Allah put you to be guided as well. And guidance is not something you should be proud of. Don't say you are better. Allah just wish to guide you and He lets you to be guided. If you wish today, Allah will let you to go astray. If you so wish. So please, someone is astray, is doing what is wrong, you should pity the person and pray for the person for guidance. Not condemning, castigating everything about the person. You should pity the person and pray that Allah should guide the person. Rasul told us about someone that is having a friend. He's trying to be righteous, but the friend is trying to be what? To be an evil type. He has been preaching and preaching and preaching and preaching. One day he said, Wallahi la yaghfirullahu fulan. He said, Wallahi, Allah will not forgive you. You know, we have those overzealous Muslims, right? He is tired of preaching. See, Wallahi, Allah will not forgive you because he's angry. So are you Allah? Allah told the messenger of that time, Man alladhi yata'ala ala Allah, Allah anfiru li fulan. Who is that using my name to swear that I'm not going to forgive him? Tell the person swearing that I don't need this action has been destroyed and the other person has been forgiven. He has not yet said astaghfirullah, but Allah says he has been forgiven. And he that is feeling high, Allah says, I've destroyed your actions. I don't need your actions any longer. If the Rasul will tell the companions, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that you should beware that your actions are not enough in any way to grant you Jannah or receive from the hellfire. They say, including you, O Rasul, they say, Hatta ana, illa an yatagammadani Allah bi rahmati, including myself, except that Allah so wish to cover me with His mercy. So please, when you learn, you try and teach others, and don't condemn people. Please always be after their guidance and pray and pray and pray. That Allah says all true. Number 5 is humbleness. If you are seeking for Islamic knowledge, be as humble as possible. I'm going to match all these things under one explanation. Be humble enough, be patient, have your provision along with you when you are going out to seek for Islamic knowledge, then have respect and obedience for your scholars. All these 4 will come under some verses in Surah Al-Kahfi. Nabiullah Musa was asked one day, When Musa khatiban fi bani Israel, Rasul said that there was a day Musa was preaching in among the Israelites. As he was preaching, someone asked Musa, Man a'lamun nas? Who is the most knowledgeable person amongst men? Musa doesn't know anybody aside himself because he received who? He received knowledge from Allah direct. And he only knows himself. He said, Anna, I'm the one. Allah was angry with him. Allah said, Oh Musa, you are not the one. Our servant is somewhere. Go and learn from him. He was not even told precisely where to meet him. Another test has come up. Allah draws it like it. Be humble enough if you are knowledgeable. Allah bless you some knowledge, please be humble enough. Allah say, go and meet him. He say, where, oh Allah? Allah say, I'm going to meet him at the joints between two oceans. That's all. Carry along with you a fish. Anywhere the fish is missing, that's where you meet him. Case closed. A very big trouble has started. Why? Allah wants to bring Musa down, be humble. Knowledge is one of my greatest features. Don't claim everything. You were not given of knowledge, but just a little. Just a little. Musa started the journey. Allah wants to teach him wants to teach us as well, because it's in the Quran, how to be humble. So Nabi Musa went ahead together with who? Yusha ibn Nun, according to the hadith in Bukhari. He went together with Yusha ibn Nun. He said, please, let's go. We have an assignment to embark on. They went together. They were moving. Quran explained those things. When they go to Bahrain, they rest, they slept. When they woke up, they continued their journey. They covered a very long and wide distance. Musa told him, Atina gada'ana. لَقَدْ لَقِينَا مِنْ سَفَرِنَا هَذَا نَصَّبًا. Bring our food, let's eat something. We have really suffered today. He checked. He said, Nasitu food. He said, I can't see that fish. See, Wama ansani hu illa shaitan and Arukora. Shaitan, as in was the one that made me to forget, to forget. Because he saw where the fish passed. He saw it. It creates a path. When the thing jumped from the basket into the water, you shall saw it. Musa was sleeping, he was not sleeping. When the thing entered water, it creates an open channel. The place became solidified. You can see it through the place through where the fish passed. Musa said, we have to go back. They went back. Searching for where they can meet it. When they got there, Musa met Khidr there. He asked him, he said, look at our humble, because he has now learned lesson. See how he's presenting his own case. He said, should I follow you? So that you will teach me that which you have been taught of guidance. What was the response? He said, you cannot be my students because you are not a patient type. He told Musa, you cannot be patient with me, you cannot be my students. So if you want to learn to a scholar, I know he's knowledgeable. I say, you cannot be my students. I say, that man is very arrogant. He's just begin to go. Be humble enough, please. You know that you are trying to get something. Musa promised him that I promise you, I will try to be as patient as possible. I will not challenge anything you do. He said, okay, let's go. He carried Musa along, right? Musa failed all the 3 tests. He didn't pass any. He failed all the 3. Anything happens, he will talk. He said, Alam aqul innaka lan tastati'a ma'i sabra. Didn't I warn you? Musa will say, forgive me, please. I've forgotten. Not to akhid me man seed. Don't penalize me for what I've forgotten. Please, I'll not ask again. See, are you sure he said, let's go? Musa will fail again 3 times. At the point he told Musa, you cannot follow me again. You have been expelled, right? He expelled Musa. And I want him to know that people are there that have more knowledge than Musa. So we have learned from there a lot of things. Number 1, humbleness. Number 2, patience. Musa couldn't persevere. Number 3 is provision. He was told to carry his sword, provision along with him. You want to go and seek for knowledge, please don't go and start begging on the roadside. Carry enough provision with you. If it got exhausted, Allah will come to you, but don't go and be a burden, a liability on people. It's wrong. Then number 4, we have learned how to be obedient and show respect to scholars. The next point is being steadfast and firm on the truth. As a student of knowledge, you know this thing is right, is correct. Is be patient and remain on it. Don't tilt, don't deviate, remain on the right path. It's not easy, but Allah will be in your own support. Allah will tell the Rasul, فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ وَمَنْ تَابَ مَعَكَ وَلَا تَطْغَوْا. You should be steadfast in what you be instructed and commanded to do. Never deviate. Very, very important in the life of student of knowledge. Because once you deviate, you will be a reference point to others. And you be the source of what of their misguidance. Please remain steadfast because many are trying to copy from you. A lot of people can commit a lot of blunders in the streets. Nobody will care to look at them. But because you have just kept your base, look at that alpha. See how he's holding that girl. Because you are who? You are an alpha. So anything you do, you are a mini angel amongst mankind. That's how they look at you. Please try and be very, very conscious. Number 10 is supplication. We have learned that in the other part of the discussion. Or over visibly ilma. That's the part of your prayers. Allahumma inna as'aluka ilman nafi'an wa rizqan to the end of the dua. Number 11 is determination. Please, when you are saying for Islamic knowledge, be determined. Most students of knowledge have the belief that Nahu is difficult. Why? Sarf is difficult. Why? To understand the concept of al-mawarith, sharing inheritance, is difficult. Why? Concept of al-buyu'a is difficult. Why? Because you have predetermined mind as towards that. Even if the man tried to break it into pieces for you, see, this one is just your mind is not there because you felt it's just difficult. It remains difficult. If some people will understand it, Allah can make it easy to understand. So please be determined. You are serious. You are concerned about it. Many of us here, how do you manage to graduate? There are a lot of formulas and equations that you just manage to cram. You don't even know what they're talking about. In 40 minutes, then I can recall, proving formula can take you like 4 or 5 pages. Many steps, you just force them in your head. You don't understand how they did the integration and the differentiation. You don't know how to do it. You force those things into your head. Why? Because you are determined that you want to achieve and you will achieve. That Allah sees us all through. Number 12 is shunning sin as much as possible and seeking for forgiveness. As a seeker of knowledge, you try and avoid sin as much as you can. And if peradventure you happen to engage in one, rush and seek Allah's forgiveness. Then you should have zeal and serious love for Islamic knowledge. What do you mean by that? Is that you shouldn't be compelled. Not that you're seeking for knowledge because you're compelled. No, you're not compelled. You have the love. You are doing it with passion. That's how it should be. Then number 14, I'm rushing, is that one should manage his time. Very, very important, especially in the night. Use advantage of the night to learn as much as possible or to reverse a lot of things. You can be as smart as possible in smart ways of making things easy for yourself. You plan in a good way. You jot points, you summarize bulletin notes, you use symbols, you use abbreviation, you use a lot of ways you can go about to ensure that you make knowledge very easy for you to access and have a lot in your memory. Number 12 is that, number 15 rather, which is the last one, is that you rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to seek for knowledge? وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Fear Allah, Allah is going to make it easy for you. And if it's the dua, use other possible times, other possible dua, supplications, time when dua have been answered and that's to be Allah to grant you Islamic knowledge and even the worldly knowledge. It was said that Imam Ibn Hajar Asqalani, when he had this hadith that Rasul is saying, Ma'u Zamzam lima shuriba lah, that the water of Zamzam will give you cure to whatsoever you take the water for. He went to Makkah because during his own time, he had that Imam al-Zahabi. When I see hadith, they say Zahabi, they just put a full stop. So he went to Makkah, he went to Zamzam, he fetched the water. He said, I want to take this water. Rasul said that this water will cure anything it's been taken for. He said, Allahumma allimni kama allamta zahabi. Oh Allah, I want to take this water to cure my ignorance so that I should be as learned as Imam al-Zahabi. When he drank that water, at a point in time, when they call Ibn Hajar, they forget about who is Imam al-Zahabi completely. So please, we should take opportunity of prayers. So Allah should make it easy for us. Sometimes you memorize, you learn, you read, it escapes easily. Don't you observe students of Quran memorization amongst us will testify that? You just enter a car, let's say from here to Abuja, and the driver will be playing one music. Without paying attention to that music, the thing will be forcing itself into your memory. You observe that? You don't pay attention to it. It's the one forcing itself into your memory. After 6 months, somewhere you hear the music, you feel like she wants to follow and flow along with the musician. Nothing you heard, ba? Yeah, Alpha. But try Quran now. You spend the whole night, you'll be doing and doing and doing. In the after school, you continue. You come and want to present to your Amir. I said, go and go. He said, you didn't do it well. Go and do it well. That should tell you that this is not something to take for granted. You know, it is very, very important. The other is shaitanic related. So you find it easy to push into your head. But this one, you are the one struggling to get it. You are calling it, it is what it is escaping from you. Rasul will say, Ta'ahadu hadal Quran. فوالذي نفس محمد بيده لهو أشد تفلتا من الإبل في عقولها. Rasul say, pay serious attention to the Quran. Read it over and over. I swear by him whom the soul of Muhammad belongs to his hands. This Quran escaped faster than an untied camel. Leave a camel untied, will you meet it there? Even if a rat can draw the rope, camel will follow. Quran escaped faster than that camel. So please, you have to put a lot of effort to ensure that you don't miss your preserved treasure. Note as well that this Quran, we are coming to, let me not talk much, we are coming to Quran, me and Quran, inshallah, we'll discuss this ones there. So let me consider time. Then, sorry, sources of knowledge. Where do you acquire knowledge from? Basically, there are two means of acquiring knowledge. Learning from scholars directly. Number two, learning from the books. Learning from the scholars is the safest. Learning from books, it could be safe and could be extremely dangerous. When you read the book on your own, the tendencies of you causing more harm than good more harm than good Islam is higher than when you learn from scholars. We are going to discuss much of this during the course of the other talk, inshallah ta'ala. That other is our office, inshallah ta'ala. So, and we have, so briefly again, sorry, we have some few things to note. Number one, Rasul explained that two people can never be learned in the deen. The person that is ignorant, mutakabbir, wa mustahyin. The person that is shy. Shyness is different from modesty in this concept. You could be modest, but that does not mean that you should be shy. Say, come forward. Say, your body is, you are shivering. You understand? People are learning. You are left behind. You cannot even hear from where you are staying. Come closer. It's not part of modesty. Aisha will say, Ni'man nisa nisa'ul ansar. Lam yakun liyamna'ahunna al-haya an yata'allamna aw yatafaqqahna fi ad-din. See how wonderful the women of Medina are. Shyness does not in any way prevent them from learning about Islam. That's all. Number two is knowledge is endless. Please learn as much as you can. Go as far as you can, but you cannot exhaust knowledge. Don't at any point in time think that you are the Alpha and Omega in this field of knowledge. Please, no. It's not so. You just know a little. Number three is good companionship. If you want to be a good source of knowledge, please have good friends that will influence you positively, not the ones that will say, now only you sabi book. You know, there are those kind of friends, right? You are the only person that knows books. They calling you Mr. Who. There are a lot of nicknames they give you when you attach yourself so much to book. Jacomita, all those kind of statements to weaken your morale and to make you look like them. Please don't do that. You are determined, you know the purpose and the aim of being in the institution where you belong to. That's that. Good companionship matters a lot. You say what? Adwal balid ila al-jalid sari'atan. You should leave a fool to a wise person with what? With speed, haste. Don't be like a fool. If you befriend a fool, what's going to happen? You'll be kaljamri yudabu fi ramadi fayukhmadu. Pick a hot red charcoal, hot red burning charcoal, and you have plenty of ashes after cooking, plenty ashes. Put that red charcoal inside ash, dip it inside, and cover it. After 2 minutes, bring it out. Would you remain the same? This is a burning hot red charcoal, but you put it in what? in companionship of what will quench it down, it will go off. So you are the hot burning charcoal, you are determined. Don't be in the midst of ashes that will bring down your light and make you to be cool. That's that. Number 4, we are talking about that one. Somehow, have something doing. Students of knowledge should not be a liability to people, please. Have something doing if truly you want to learn. Have something, no matter how little it is, that Allah could bless it for you. But have something doing so that you don't rely on people for all you needed. Number 5, they will say that if you rely on other people's provision, what will happen? You feel excessive hunger. Those of you that say in the hostel will know something what I'm talking about, right? You say in the hostel, even it's your friend, it's your friend. But because he has realized that you are waiting for his food to get done, you say the kerosene is finished, right? He's also hungry. He needs to eat. But he will make your hunger lengthier because he's the owner of the food. He will also punish himself. So please don't rely on other people's provision. Those are very common things in institutions, those that live in hostels. Then you are always a reference point towards the thing we close with. Then think, do we go into taking the good message or the beauty on the process of knowledge? We're able to summarize and rush to round up the little points we have there. And the next point we have is good message of Al-Biri on the importance of knowledge that he was calling his child Abu Bakr to. It's up to 115 different points. I don't know, Amir, I'm waiting for your delivery going to so we go to the next talk.
The moderator.
What do we do?
The moderator. Should we venture into
because we have just I think an hour or so from now
when
to
are we
Maghrib.
starting?
By 6:45.
This very lecture all the two.
The entire.
Subhanallah. And this is 6:25. I think let's
5:25.
from 5:25. So let's just 10 minutes do something here, then we move into the next topic.
We are having another class in the lunch.
Inshallah ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. Let's now look at Wasiyatul Al-Biri. The goodwill message that Imam Al-Biri Al-Andalusi left behind for his child. Al-Biri is a very well recognized scholar in all parts of the world. During his own time, he's a reference point when it comes to the affairs of the likes of Luga, Malik, Sharia, Mawa'id, and a lot of things. So, and you know this saying of Malik ibn Anas, those that benefit from scholar, the least are his family. You know that. Those that benefit the least from a scholar are his family. In the morning, he has gone to teach other people in Islamia. In the afternoon, he is there. In the evening, he is there. After Maghrib, he is there. He finished teaching everybody in the town. But his wife is ignorant. His children have not yet learned anything. His family members are still ignorant. But he's busy teaching you from one madrasa to another. But his closest ones have not yet benefited from him. So because of that, Al-Biri felt that there's a need for him to drop a very heavy and strong message for his own child, Abu Bakr. Because he's a scholar, but the child is like not willing to flow along with that in the field of knowledge. Manzuma to Abi Ishaq Al-Biri, the point of Abi Ishaq Al-Biri to his son, Rahimahullah. He started this way. He told his child, تفت فؤادك الأيام فتى وتنعد جسمك الساعات نحتا وتدعوك للمنون دعاء صدق ألا يا صاحي أنت أريد أنت. ستفت فؤادك الأيام فتى. الأيام days تفت فؤادك are weakening or breaking your heart. Fatan, really breaking. He started to what? Telling his son the importance of time in the life of a student of knowledge. You let your time moving freely, and that's every day breaking your heart. It's weakening your mind. And sa'at, hours are cutting. That's the ashilku is cutting and cracking and tearing. Tearing what? Your body. Nahta, real tearing. When you get to 40, 50,